2030-31 season. The Jets are coming off their first ever playoff miss in the franchise history. Give a quick look at the lines. For recap, we had Nicola, Rifle, and Thomas on top line, followed by Stevens, Forstrom, and Henderson, Gill, Sabrikin, Taru, Brennan, Samuelson, and Benoit, and on the fourth. And then on defense, we are looking at Appleby, Blue Juice, Aston, Regan, Kavanaugh, and Axelson. And we're going with Yuri Semenov as the starter this year, with Matt Murray winding down his career as the backup. Last year, Murray did not play well. He went 11-9-2 in 22 appearances. His worst save percentage of the last few years, and his worst goals against average of his career with us. So if we go all the way back, I go just skips the years, but Murray has won us 2 Stanley Cups against the 2 Stanley Cup finals, so we can reward him for that loyalty by keeping with the team till he retires. I'm going to do what I've been doing all last few episodes with this one, at least, is I'm going straight to the trade deadline. This year we have Saprikin, Stevens, Saprikin, Axelson, and I think that's pretty much it. The RFAs I keep, because worst case, if I can't keep them, I can, or if I can't sign them, I will offer them. Ooh, I have lots of money left over. Oh man, I can't go wrong there. So I'm going to quickly offer Benoit an extension early in the year. Same with Stevens, I guess. So I'll lock in 2 of my younger players, long term hopefully. So let's see how badly we're struggling this year as we approach the trade deadline. And Stevens rejects his offer. Benoit accepted his. Interesting. Only 70, 89, 96, 91. So we'll start with the Western Hockey League. 6 weeks to look at that. 100 forwards. Now started off preseason pretty good. We're going 4-1. We will have about preseason. with a 4-2 record, so that's not bad. Better than last year when we went 3-3. That was the first time in a number of years we won the first game of the season. Weaker than normal, and then we'd lose the next 3 games. This team is best when we win consistent games, so. And we got a trade coming in. We got Eminger. Chicago wants Eminger a 4th and a 7th for a 4th and a 5th. I can decline that trade. In the first month, we were 7-5. Played 2 less games than Dallas. There's 91 forwards in Quebec, so we'll look at that for 6 weeks. Oh, nice. Now we're getting on a roll. That's a 4-game winning streak. 5-game undefeated streak. 6 games undefeated. This is looking like the Jets of old. 7 games. 8 games. 9. Oh, there's our second regulation loss, so we lose another one. So 5th, another trade coming through. It's pretty much the same deal. Except the 4th and a 6th to us. We'll decline that one. Decline. So 17-10-1 to start the year. 18-10-1 now. So I should at least be good enough for a playoff spot as we stand right now. Almost 90 there, so it'll be 6 weeks as well. So we spent a better part of the early parts of the season looking at just the forwards across Canada. Nice little 3-game winning streak there. Make it a 4-game winning streak. So we're into January. Decline. Austin's back. Ooh, we just lost Forstrom, who's a young center for us. Separated shoulder. He's going to be gone for at least a month. Here we want 2 picks. So Eminger's only basically worth a 7th is what they're telling me. Four-game losing streak to close out January. Ouch. There we go, end that losing streak skid. Let's take a look at this DeMaio kid. No, it's too not good enough to crack the lineup. Another 3-game losing streak, man. We are just... That should help force them back in the lineup. It's 5-game losing streak there. Oh, sorry, yeah, 32. Never mind. I'll claim that guy off waivers. What's wrong? Gallagher's a defenseman Gallagher from Pittsburgh. He's a medium elite or a low elite. What's his contract status? Ah. And we are at the trade deadline sitting with, we have one more trade coming through. Yakupov on a 3-year deal for a 3rd and a 7th. I need to decline that because I want the money for extensions. And Di Nicola leading the team with 49 points this year. We are sitting 3rd in the division, 8 points up on Dallas. So we should be making the playoffs barring a complete utter collapse. So unless I can move Saprikin out for a center, that could be long term. That's about the only trade I'm going to look at. Maybe Axelson, but there's a couple good rookies coming up. Okay. What's his value? See, there he's already 79 and he's not even signed yet. That is awesome. options from Toronto. Devils are interested as well. Well, they have a bunch of guys on expiring contracts. Interesting. It's 21. Alright, so we didn't make our blockbuster trade at the deadline. We sent out a guy an expiring deal, a top medium top 6 potential on the draft pick to bring in a young guy with 2 years left, who could be our #1 center now. And he is 17 goals, 10 assists. The guy we sent out. Only had 12 points in the same span, so I'm happy with that upgrade at Sunrise. So I think it's the only trade I'm going to make. Let's get to the playoffs. And hopefully we return. And Gallagher rejects his offer. Okay, so I've looked at forwards all year. It's 41, 49, 41, 51, 50. Come on, 45 wins is my magic number for the playoffs. Let's get there. Sauce Benoit, the back spasms. Sorry, I'm just having a quick snack of some ramen noodles. So I'm not liking that trend going into the playoffs. As we lost the last two games of the regular season, we finished with a 46 win campaign. Good for third in our division. We match up with the Blackhawks. Jeffrey Thomas led the team with 80 points when all said and done. Followed close behind by Nicola, Rupo, and Jorlo. So I'm curious on some rookie skaters. Stevens with 42 points. And I cannot catch a break when it comes to rookies. Okay, so we are set for the playoffs. Our 96 points. Yeah, that was pretty much what I was expecting. This is the Wild who will take on the Canucks. So we'll be playing either Minnesota or Vancouver in the second round. If we make it that far. Let's see how we do in the playoffs. As we make a triumphant return after missing out by 4 points last year. And we start off on the road in Chicago. And this is actually our goaltender's first playoff. So we'll see how he does. As he's got a big extension coming next year. And we took a long penalty there. And Jorlo gets the first goal of the game on the power play. Shots are 12-12 after one. We lead 1-0. Come on. No penalties in the second. As Chicago takes a 24-22 shot lead into the third. We lead 1-0. And this kid is standing on his head for us. And Thomas with the empty netter makes it 2-0. Shots 30-30 apiece. Yuri Semenov in his very first playoff game gets the shutout. With Eric Comrie and Pierre Jorlou with the 3 stars. Okay, the shots totals were better than I thought they were in the second, but it became a really defensive game in the third period. There's only 14 shots in total after 24-22. And Lettinen opens the scoring. But Stevens ties it right back. After scoring on our first power play of the series, we haven't scored on a power play since. And it's 1-1 after one shots, 8-6 in favor of Winnipeg. 1 second. And let's get to the next period. Another power play for us, and we get a goal from Thomas. That must have been a major because we're still in the power play. Thomas with 2 goals in the second. We're still in the power play. Wow. That completely turned the game around. Shots 21-11 now. I'm going to take a look at the penalties in the second and find out what they got dinged for. And Pratt makes it 3-2. And we take game 2, 3-2. 34-19, the shots on net. So it's a double minor for hooking that Thomas scored on the first power play. Then they took another hooking minor and then another hooking minor. And Thomas scored again on the power play. And so 3 stars, Jeffrey Thomas, Marco Lettinen, and Dustin Stevens with the stars in game 2. We go back to Winnipeg up 2-0. And we have our first home game of the playoffs this year. He opened the scoring with a goal from Lane. It's 1-0 Chicago after 1. Shots 11-10. And Lane makes it 2-0. Drew then Roy will tie up, and Thomas turned things around in the second. Wow. Then Jarlou with a second of the period, and we lead 4-2 after 2. Shots 22-19 in favor of Winnipeg. I was not expecting that. Lettinen makes it 4-3. And Axelson with an empty netter makes it 5-3. We were up 3 games to none shots, 35-31 in that game. As we look to sweep Pierre Jarlou, Jeffrey Thompson, Chris Lane with the 3 stars. And now we look to close out the series on home ice. And I think Chicago scored first in every game but the first one where we got the shutout. So shots after the first period are 12-8 in favor of Chicago. There's no score. We head into the second. Chicago with a power play. And Benoit makes it 1-0 as the power play expires. Stevens makes it 2-0. And shots are 24-18 after 2. We lead 2-0 going into the third. We get a power play, get nothing out of it. Chicago's firing everything they can out of net. Thomas makes it 3-0 on the power play. The Brinkat makes it 3-1. Sharma makes it 3-2. Lane ties it up. Wow. That's 3 goals in 30 seconds. Crackner makes it 4-3. And we are going to game 5 after an utter collapse. 8-12, then 18 seconds later they tie, and then they get it. The tying goal. That was just horrible. Three stars. Thomas, Lane, and Crackner. See if we can rebound after that collapse. Stevens opens the scoring early in the first. We are leading 1-0. End of the first. Shots 11-7 in favor of Winnipeg. We lead 1-0. Back-to-back penalties in the second for us. It's the third straight penalty we've taken in the second period. Shots 22-19 in favor of Winnipeg after 2. We get a power play, nothing out of it. The Brinket ties it up. And we take another penalty. Shots are even late in the third. Chicago shooting us 31-33. We're going to overtime for the first time in this series. And 20 seconds into overtime, Chicago gets the win. It's now a 3-2 series. Comrie, Semenoff, and Hobbs, the 3 stars. And we're going back to Winnipeg for Game 6. Oops. And Dermott opens the scoring for Chicago. Sopry makes it 2-0 Chicago. Sharma makes it 3-0. Wow, Chicago's got all the momentum after we gave up 4 straight goals in Game 4. Shots 15-5 in favor of Chicago. It's 3-0. See if we can battle back, but if we can't get the puck on the net, it's not going to happen. Chicago's doubling up. Regan makes it 3-1 with a power play goal. It looks like Chicago's going to force Game 7. Zero shooting is 24-15 after 2. The score is 3-1 Chicago. And that's the icing on the cake as Murray finally gets beat. Right, Lettinen is 4-1 Chicago. We're going to go back to the United Center for Game 7. With Chicago having all the momentum with a 5-1, 6-1 victory. Might as well just make it 7-1, 8-1. Oh my god, that's ridiculous. 5 goals in the third period. Lettinen, Sharma, and Cavallo with the 3 stars. They scored 3 in the first, 5 in the third. And this series is all Chicago now. And that was like the worst loss I've ever had in the playoffs. An early power play goal from Thomas makes it 1-0. Gilney makes it 1-1. Hobbs makes it 2-1. Lots of penalties. Hartnell makes it 3-1. And it looks like we're going to lose for the first time in the opening round of the playoffs. It's 10-10. Shots on net. Score 3-1 Chicago. We need the next goal, and we need it now. Nice from Giroux. And we're outplaying Chicago huge in the second. But Lane makes it 4-2. That's probably... Oh, Thomas makes it 4-3. Shots 25-16 after 2. We have a chance to get... We're within striking distance, but we need the next goal. We get it from Riopel. We need the next goal. Come on, boys. Pratt makes it 5-4. Giroux makes it 5-5. Come on, get the next goal, Winnipeg. No, that's it. Marchand makes it 6-5. And we are done for the first time in the playoffs in the first round after missing the playoffs last year. 3 stars, McGillney, Thomas, and Marchand. And we are done early in the playoffs. That's our first round exit. And we were up 3-0 in that series. That is absolutely ridiculous. Last 2 games we were outscored 14-6. Just pathetic. So, like I said, there we are. We're out. Thomas with 12 points in the opening round. He had a goal, pretty much goal per game. Thomas also scored 4 power play goals in the series, 4 of our 6. Giroux had 8 points in that series. Nicolas only had 8 assists. Like after the playoff, the regular season where he won. 37, 28, and 3 with 6 shutout, 920 save percentage, 235. Murray went 10, 4, and 1. We get to the playoffs. And he drops an 891 save percentage. 326 goals against average. Murray got at 599. I think I'm going to trade Murray. I need a goaltender in there who can be decent enough to win if I come in and not cost us a game like Murray did. And the Carolina Hurricanes winning the Stanley Cup. The Iowa Wild with the Calder. Forgot to update my thing. Let's give me 1 second here, folks. Almost 97 million or 96 and a half minimum, 116 maximum. That was 47. Man, if we didn't trade away that pick to Florida, we would have the 3rd pick overall. But oh well. Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Florida, Nashville, Tampa, St. Louis, Vegas, Nashville, Islanders, Dallas, Rangers, Colorado, Toronto, Detroit, and Buffalo with the top 15 picks. No skaters retiring. And Matt Murray still holding on. doing whatever I can to get rid of Murray. So we're at the NHL entry draft. Before we begin, let's take a look at the award winners. I'll reconnect my second screen. So it was the Carolina Hurricanes winning the Stanley Cup. The President's Trophy going to the Minnesota Wild. The Clarence went to the Vancouver Canucks. And the Whales going to the Carolina Hurricanes. And the individual award winners. We got McDavid with the Art Ross. Hart going to Erickson. Nice. And the Norris. Bednar Washington again. The Bing. McDavid. Calder goes to Muirs for the Islanders. Conn Smythe. Guerin for Carolina. E-N-I-N. Vezina went to Erickson. Oh, I see a goaltender win the Hart, so the Jennings also going to Erickson. Didn't share with anyone, so Maston going to L. Johnson from Nashville. The Selk going to McDavid. The Lindsay. Oh, going to Erickson. And the Maurice for the 4th straight season goes to McDavid. Okay, so got that recorded to put into my thing. And let's run this back on. I'm just gonna get through the draft, then I'm gonna call it a day. as I want to catch some Monday Night Raw. Well, Philadelphia. Let's see if you can use a veteran goaltender. Fuck off. So we're moving Murray and a fourth to move up to a third. And Matt Murray is no longer a member of the team. So we're making our first selection in the third round now. We're just going to go based on guys with potential. There's one elite left. It's a high elite apparently. Low top 6. Fifth in next year's draft or fifth in this year's. I'll take it. Why not? So this draft, we pick up Niemitz, Reese, and Pitt in the second. In the third round, then we drop all the way down to 6th. We pick up Dingman. We're going to get quickly through the re-sign phase. As it is 7:41. I got a couple more minutes. First thing I'm going to do is look at the rookies. Make my decisions there. Waiting for a contract. gonna resign a 38-year-old. And I'll let this 26-year-old probably go. Yeah. Let's see how those guys resign. Base one I think he's gonna worry about is Stevens. So Waller accepts, Kaderi accepts, Bork accepts, Noakes rejects, accept. Oh, Stevens did accept. Good. Aston accepted. Walker. Whitman. So I should just leave one guy left to resign. And I got $4.5 million to fill in any gaps in the lineup. Rejects his offer again. Oh. Fairly well, Noakes. Okay. Now, what do we have to fill in for a gap for this year? Next year we've got 5 guys. One is we got 4 restricted free agents. So that's going to be a problem, probably, but hopefully not too much of one. Let's look at one, two, three, 4, 5, 6 centers, and then we got, man, so we're gonna have Bergfors and Scuderi down in the A next year. 4, 5. So we need defensemen. Options. Oops. Yeah. We need a defenseman. And yeah. Ouch. And we need to free up cap space. No, I'll move up with Samson rifle. We're top 6 potentials, so let's quickly make those deals. So the rifle comes off the books, so we get a first round pick from Boston. And Samuelson comes off the books for a second, hopefully a 4th. So that should free up a ton of cap space now. To sign our #1 center. cashed in. You're going to wait. See what the cap does next year. Okay, so let's sort our first couple offers as we are looking for a top defenseman. There's a 33-year-old veteran right there. And we get Calder as well. Man. Let's also look at I'll see if we get those guys. See what happens with those guys. We just targeted. Then I'll make my decision. It's 6 minutes left. Decline. Decline. And Grelu accepts his extension. And Calder accepts his contract. That leaves me with $4 million. And like that. Like that. Get on the right side still. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 defensemen. Could use a 7th. So we're gonna look for a 7th defenseman in free agency. And I'll be cutting this one short soon. See if Myers signs. Because I literally just need a green center or defenseman. And Myers does accept his offer. I am all set. And we'll get to the next season. Now call it a day. Decline. Hopefully the Manitoba Moose can improve on the 28-45-9 record. But they are pretty much just filled up with just scrubs. So, because I like to keep my prospects unsigned until the final year of eligibility to see if they become a player that I really want. So if they haven't hit 70 by that point in time, I don't have a use for them, and then I cut them out. So 3 minutes left. Come on, finish up. So lineup this year, we'll see DeNicola, Giroux, and Thomas still together. We've got Stevens, Forstrom, and Gill on the third. Henderson, Bergforce, and Giroux on the third line. Sorry, second line. And we have Brennan, Scuderi, and Benoit on the fourth. We're going with the defensemen of Calder, Bourgeois, Aston, Appleby, Kavanaugh, and Regan. And we also should have Kovalev and Myers scratch. We're going to call up a center. Captains of this squad should be I'm okay with that. Thomas, Giroux, DeNicola, and we got Walker backing up Semenoff. And one last thing. Quincy, you are 25. You're good enough to come to the NHL. So yes, sir. Pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys signed in the AHL, plus our 2 goalies. Alright, so I'm all set there. I'll call it a day here, and I will see you all tomorrow.